Now there's Anton Daniels, there's Coach Greg Adams, there's Kevin Samuels, and then there's Derek Jackson. Now, the Gambino crime family is one of the most famous families, right? Now I want you, listen to what I'm gonna say. If this family was broken down into pieces, Anton Daniels, we're gonna do it in order, right? In order, not in the sense of who's first or who's better. No, it's how I'm gonna describe them to the person we're gonna speak about. So Anton Daniels will be Carlo Gambino. Coach Greg Adams would be like a Neo de la Croce. Kevin Samuels would be John Gotti, and Derek Jackson is representing Paul Castellano. Right? Now, bear with me, because when this was broken down to me, I was like, wow. So I was tossed into the category.
I got my swag right, feeling crispy clean. Girl, I'm the flyest mother you've ever seen.
Welcome back to True Hall of Fame Builds in association with the Hear Me Out podcast. I'm your host, Michael May, and today I want to talk about the Mount Rushmore content creators, right? But I'm gonna speak about it in the sense of like the mafia. Everybody's infatuated with the mafia, so the best way to try to describe it in a way where everybody can understand it, I think, would be like this. Now, this is not my idea. Shout out to Staten Island, shout out to Jersey. So one of my boys, his grandfather watches me, right? And he was like, what I'm about to break down to you is how he broke it down to me, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel. So I asked him if I could speak on his behalf and give it to y'all the way he gave it to me, which I thought was really, really, really dope. So on this segment of Man Talk, I want to speak about the different types of content creators, right? And I do think that who you listen to is very important. It's very important to this subject matter, because the outcomes you're desiring is going to be strictly based off of where you're trying to go. Now, shout out to everybody I'm going to be speaking about today. I am not dissing nobody. I am dissing absolutely nobody. Now, the gentlemen you do see on the screen, though I will be using them as the main example, is because these guys actually are what it is I'm going to describe, right? Now, if you're new here, man, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on notifications. So this right here, I'm going to describe as the Gambino YouTube family. I didn't want to say crime family, but you already know the Mount Rushmore. Now, there's Anton Daniels, there's Coach Greg Adams, there's Kevin Samuels, and then there's Derek Jackson. Now, the Gambino crime family is one of the most famous families, right? Now I want you, listen to what I'm gonna say. If this family was broken down into pieces, Anton Daniels, we're gonna do it in order, right? In order, not in the sense of who's first or who's better. No, it's how I'm gonna describe them to the person we're gonna speak about. So Anton Daniels will be Carlo Gambino. Coach Greg Adams would be like a Neil de la Croce. Kevin Samuels would be John Gotti, and Derek Jackson is representing Paul Castellano, right? Now, bear with me, because when this was broken down to me, I was like, wow. So I was tossed into the category of John Gotti. But I'm gonna break this down to you guys, right? Because let's just start, right? Anton Daniels, Carlo Gambino, the first boss of the family, right? Y'all know who he is. He's more reserved. He is more settled. Like Anton. Anton is a content creator that still speaks on Manosphere points, though he speaks of several other different things, which is fantastic. I'm not taking away. But Anton has been married for over 2 decades. Who falls under the same example as Anton Daniels is like a Shazette, like the coffee pod. He would fall under that same category. These are guys who are married men. They keep it under the radar. They put their work in, but for the most part, they're very reserved. Now, because it's very important who you get your information from. Now, I'm going to say this. I listen to all these types of men. The Bible instructs us to do so. So I am the kind of person that I would listen to something that I know is crazy just to get the information in case somebody tried to attack me in that way. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm the kind of person that I like to know a little bit about a lot. I don't want to know a lot about a little bit. That's not who I am. Right? Now, very reserved, very family oriented, which most people should be. Like Coach is a family guy. He has his sons, Kevin Samuels, like Derek Jackson. Everybody had wives. They're just different types of content creators. Anton can give you so much information, right? Now, there are several content creators that fall under the Carlo Gambino settings of content creation, where sometimes the rest of us feel like, I'll give you an example. I've heard Kevin, I've heard Derek, I've heard Coach Greg, I've heard several content creators say, how can you speak on something that you don't have any new updated information? Now, not saying that you can't gather information from what you see and what you hear, because I am a firm believer that a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from watching other people make the mistakes. Therefore, you'll still be informed, but it's not the same as, ready? Now listen, moving on to the next person. Neil de la Croce, which is Coach Greg Adams. He's a single man. He speaks on Manosphere points. He's also educated. He's also giving you money tips and all kind of things the same way Anton does. Here's the difference. Coach Greg is currently living the free agent lifestyle. Now listen, Neil de la Croce, listen y'all, pay attention. Don't let me lose you. Carlo Gambino was the boss, right? he put in his work, but his respect was given by his peers because of what they knew of him. Where Neil Delacroix, up until his death, from my understanding, from what I've heard other people speak about, Michael Franchese's and other people, Neil was a gangster until his death. So Coach Greg Adams, that's why I said Coach Neil Delacroix had the respect. He has the respect of the gangsters and the businessmen. They know Neil put in work all day long. Neil didn't take no crap from nobody. But when somebody's right, they're right. When somebody's wrong, they're wrong. But Neil was very to himself. Very to himself. You understand? Now, Coach Greg definitely shares. He shares that as of a Neil Delacroix. He's the free agent lifestyle. He's actively dating young women. So if you guys want to understand getting women, dating younger women, college girls, different things of this nature, then the people like Coach Greg, those are your guys. Who falls under the Neil Delacroix umbrella? Obviously, there's Coach Greg. There's Let Me Talk to You, Son. He's one person. There's another guy, Richard Cooper. Like, these guys are like the Neil Delacroix. Like, you know who they are. They're respected. They have the business side and they have the street side. You feel what I'm saying? As opposed to where Anton Daniels is more of the Carlo Gambino, where he's more reserved. He's married. He's been off the game. Shazette's been out of the game. Shazette is married. He's been with the wife for a little bit of time. So, ready? I'll give you an example. Do you notice how like every 2 to 3 months there's an update on your iPhone to update your phone for the new information coming in? So, Coach Greg will be the one to give you the best day-to-day, minute-to-minute updated information, because he actually has the tangible proof to give to you, where, not saying Anton can't give it to you, but he can't give it to you in the same spin that Coach Greg can. Now, Anton could say, oh, but I'm making money, I'm around women. Yeah, but Anton is not putting hands on hips the way Coach Greg is. Unless he is, and he's keeping it private, then that's cool. Like that ain't my business. That ain't my personal business. You feel what I'm saying? But now we're gonna move on, right? We're gonna move on to the Kevin Samuels, which is the John Gotti. John Gotti was loved and feared and respected by all. But John Gotti, so there was a saying, and think about it. Carlo Gambino ran his family with the velvet glove. That's what they used to say. That's Anton. Anton comes at it at a very reserved, laid back kind of place. That's the velvet glove. Though he's still effective. I'm not saying he's not. Where Kevin Samuels is more like, he didn't see the reason for the glove. You're average at best. You're low hanging fruit. What do you have to offer a man? And who falls under that category are like the Andrew Tates, the Myron Gaines, there's another guy, Michael something, freak. where these guys they're just straight shooters. They're not gonna, like I said, obviously the Tate brothers. You know, there is a lot of like seesawing between most content creators, but these guys didn't do that. They didn't see the reason for it. Now, though they're open to listen to conversations, but I'm the man, and that's that. Where, now look, I'm gonna give you an example, where Coach Greg Adams, Neil Delacroix, he feels you should be a man's man no matter what. People, I hope y'all really sticking to me, because I'm connecting all the dots. Now, so I would fall under the category of John Gotti, according to what some people would say, when in fact, I actually, ready, look, Kevin Samuels was pro-family. Anton Daniels is pro-family. But Anton's married for 20 plus years. Kevin wasn't, but Kevin was currently dating. So you see why Kevin Samuels was so effective, because he is in the now, where he's not just outside looking in saying, oh, this is what this is and this is what that is. And Coach Greg and Neil Delacroix, they were aces in the hole. So you have to understand where John Gotti got his game from. You feel what I'm saying? Now, moving on to the next part. Derek Jackson, the Paul Castellano of content creators. So, Paul Castellano, he wasn't a gangster. According to, yeah, he was a powerful man, he did things, but he wasn't a John Gotti. He wasn't a Neil Delacroix. He wasn't a Carlo Gambino. But his protection came from Carlo Gambino. And the minute that he passed and he became the boss, that's when you started seeing the fall. So the Paul Castellano is Derek Jackson. Stefan Speaks. There's another Spanish guy that everything is catering to the opposite side, the women, the Steve Harveys of the world. So like these guys, listen, though they know that they're on our side because they're men, what they did was they branched out to other families. Listen. So when Paul Castellano became the boss, the reason why I can understand why he would mingle with the other family, give them a bigger cut, give them a bigger piece, because he's kind of buying the other family's loyalty in case his own guys turn on him. Because his own guys the Gambino family, they didn't respect him because he's not a street. He wanted to be a politician. So this thing is supposed to be full of street men. So he had to go make allies with other people, which would be the women. You want to be a man, but then you want to go. So now, who falls under this? The Matthew Hussies, the Derek Jacksons, the Stefan Speaks. Like, now I'm not mentioning no women, because women choosing to be on our side is a plus, but I'm not going to really speak on that. So this is where I need you guys to understand. Do I think that you need to listen to a Stefan Speaks and a Derek Jackson? Yes, because last time I checked, even the Bible instructed us to you want all the information. You want to know what the enemy is going to use to attack you. So if you have Derek Jackson out there saying, girl, 40-year-old woman, y'all lit. 40-year-old women, you lit. You the cream of the crop. When you got somebody, now you got to, how are you going to combat that? Now, ready? Now you got 3 other guys to combat. You have John Gotti, Kevin Samuels, Neil Delacroix, Coach Greg, and Anton Daniels, which is Carlo Gambino. But now these 3 guys are going to give you different versions. I hope I didn't lose you, because this is the reason why. Like, ready? Derek, after that whole thing that happened with his wife, oh, black men don't cheat, he's never been the same. But you ready? Once you're a Paul Castellano, you can't backpedal. You can't dive into something else. Ready? Y'all see Stefan Speaks. Everything was pro woman. You go, girl. Yeah, a man should value you, your education. He should value. You're the prize. He's changed his whole storyline. You don't hardly see him anywhere no more. You want to know why? Because he went against what he stood for. So now there are other guys who rose above him. And now all these guys are fishing to take him out. Carlo Gambino passed away. Neil passed away. John Gotti's there. Castellano had to squad up with other families to make sure to ensure his survival, and Gotti done took him out. Ready? Let me give you another example. Matthew Hussey. Do you see how lately he's changed his game? Oh, but ladies, you have to understand, because the man, now you want to swing in the... No. See? Once you're over there, you got to stay over there. This is why I'm saying this. I'm breaking this down as the Mount Rushmore of the Gambino YouTube crime family. Anton being Carlo Gambino, more reserved. Coach Greg, more rambunctious, more out there, more like you gotta be a gangster. A man is a man is a man. Like, he's more John Gotti, the flashy. He's still dealing. And then you have the poor Castellanos, the guys who want to cater while they still playing on your side. You know, and what's unfortunate about this is, if I'm being honest with you, depending who you listen to, let's be clear, you should listen to all, but who you should listen to the most depends on where you are in your life. Let me give you a great example. Let's use me. So I am a man of God. I am a man of the Most High. I know that He's my Lord and Savior. And I'm also a man that practices polygyny, the biblical way, the right way. So I do practice and believe in having multiple wives. Now, ready? Anton understands it. I'm not sure if he practices it, but Anton read the Bible. I've heard him express things. I'm gonna do some reaction videos about what he said on a few things, because he was wrong about a few things. But Coach Greg is all about staying single, living your life, and you have no ties, focus on yourself. Neil Delacroix, a man is a man is a man, grow some balls. John Gotti was more of like the gentle gangster. You know what I'm saying? Women loved John Gotti. They loved him, like Kevin Samuels. Women loved him. Some women hated him. Most women hated him, but the men respected what he was trying to do. But I need you guys to understand, I listened to each one of the only person that I would listen to for shits and giggles is like the poor Castellanos. But there was a time when, Like I listen to Anton. Y'all guys know I like Anton's perspective. I really do. Why? Because he's very subtle. But I'm absolutely in love with the Neil Delacroix approach. You guys know me, and y'all guys know brute force is how I operate. And me having the ability to know when I'm gonna hit the gas and when to slow up is totally on me. Now, Kevin Samuels, I've always loved his content because I was always able to mix Kevin, Coach, and Anton into one. Why? Because I honestly believe I've learned a little bit from all of them, and a lot of it, this is like me having 3 grandmothers. Like what Coach, listen, there was a live stream that Kevin Samuels did years back where he said, what do you have to offer a man when you come into the relationship with him? What can you give him that you've never given to any other man? And no cap, my wife would tell you, I literally had that conversation like 2 months before he came out with that live stream, and she was like, yo, that's crazy. I said, because what Coach Greg is talking about, what Kevin and Anton, my grandmother put me on to. My grandmother was a G. My grandmother put me on to all this game. She put me on. You understand? So I'm like a mixture of all 3 of those guys. You understand what I'm saying? Because me, like Ray, look, Coach don't believe in God. Coach be calling him Sky Daddy. Anton believes in God. Anton is pushing pro super heavy marriage, where Kevin Samuels was like, if it's beneficial to you. I understand all 3 of them. But you have to listen to all 4 of them, because you have to understand that, hey, this is it's a part of life. What stage are you in life? Oh, so you've been with your lady for 20 plus years? Maybe Anton is your guy. Maybe you Coach Greg, and you know what I'm saying, all these young girls be coming at you. Hey, y'all know I deal with that. Maybe Anton is your guy. Kevin Samuels had older and younger women coming at him. I deal with that as well. People understand successful business. You guys know I do many different things, you know, but one thing I don't do is I love women. Like Kevin always said it, Coach always said it, Anton always said it as well. We all love women, but we're not gonna cater. Happy wife, happy life. We don't believe in that. Where Paul Castellano did, the Derek Jacksons. Like, if you ain't happy, girl, you should leave. Wow, incredible, incredible. But listen, man, the way it was broken down to me, it made so much sense. I hope I was able to make sense to you guys. Y'all already know, man. I love y'all. I see y'all on the flip side. Michael May. I see y'all. Y'all new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn notifications. I see y'all on the flip side. Y'all already know. You heard? Y'all tu sabe. We out.